fucking start. Oh, what is it? You're not supposed to say fuck within the first minute of a YouTube video,
Well, fuck.
right? That's a thing. Yeah. Well, there's our third one. Shit. So how do you feel about censorship?
Um, well, I'm an anarcho-communist, so
Let's fucking go. I kind of expected Steve to be back a little quicker.
yeah, me too.
I wonder what happened.
Mr.
Oh,
Steve has joined the space.
So I lost connection for a little bit. I got put in.
you got a
It seemed another.
megaphone.
uh,
And we're live.
I lost connection for a bit, for a little bit. It seemed that like I was dropped into another instance of this space, which doesn't make sense because there's not enough people here for there to be a second instance. But then I also couldn't
What
open
do
up
you
my
mean? It's
menu.
the crowd is packed, and the
It
YouTube
is.
stream cannot prove otherwise.
I couldn't get in here. It was so like the doorway is fucking jammed, and
So, what do you feel about anarcho-communism?
literally as I lost connection, I was gonna say this podcast like occasionally just becomes 2.5 communists, and I'm not the second of those three.
You're the halfway. We'll propagandize you soon enough.
Sure, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, welcome to
Is
the
it
Thought Bubble. I'm
propaganda if
Steve.
it's true?
I have a
Yes.
feeling that at this point you deliberately talk over the intro because you don't want to.
There is no intro. We've been live for like 2 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I didn't know. I couldn't get I couldn't get in for a little bit. That wasn't a joke. Ah, Ashley, I know I could swear on everything that you have that I know exactly what you want to talk about. And so if you want to get it out of your system.
Yeah, so Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. My copy came early. Wink, wink. So I've been playing that today.
Like
It's fucking
how
wonderful.
I
Mhm.
just want to say before like you continue into the actual game, how often do they arrive early? Like what kind of bullshittery is
Um,
happening that like it just
well,
keeps
since mine
happening?
started arriving early,
Right.
usually this is actually the latest that it's arrived early. Because we are a day early for the game officially releasing worldwide. Um, and like
Only a
my
day.
copy of Tears of the Kingdom arrived like 2 weeks early, which was crazy.
Right.
And like Mario versus Donkey Kong remake was like a few days early. So I don't know what they're doing out there. I mean, a day early isn't really crazy for something like that because it's like stores will just give it out and not realize that it's a day early.
Do you think it's usually like like it's one specific person that just keeps giving it out a day early, or do you think it's like there's a bunch of people so it's hard
I'm
to
not
specify?
saying that live on the internet.
Well, because like okay,
The
I want to say
euphemism goes only so far.
even if we wanted to praise their marketing and release schedules, even if we wanted to specifically name someone and congratulating them, uh, then like we wouldn't know what name to use. And
I
so
plead
it's
the
like,
fifth. I don't talk to
yeah,
cops. Sorry.
I'm not a cop. That's
Yeah,
you
that's
of
what
all
they all
people should know.
say.
You of all people should know that's the last thing I'd
That
ever
is
fucking
what
think.
they all say.
Anyway, talk about the game.
It's fucking good. It's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but they actually love it. Um, it seems like a lot of the localization changes made from the original version in America have been rectified to be closer to the Japanese version, which has been fucking awesome. One of the characters is now canonically trans in the American version. Fuck yeah. They kept Foot
Absolutely.
Fetish boss in the game, so that was cool. Um,
I knew about the trans stuff because a buddy told me about it like a day or two in advance, but I did not know anything about the foot fetish shit until they just went
yeah,
full send. Not full send, but like the pretty close in the scene that you showed
yeah.
me this
One
morning.
of the bosses is this huge dragon that when they're about to
Drag
die, they
queen,
try to
excuse you.
trick you to what? Huh?
Sorry, never mind. It was a bad joke.
Dragging these nuts on your face. Anyway, um, so it's a huge dragon that when they're about to die, they try to trick you to get one last shot in to kill you. And one of their attempts is like, "Oh, hey, my feet are so well known for smelling good. Come right under my foot to sniff it," and then they'll like squish you. But they talk about how awesome it is to sniff the foot. So that's weird, but they
I
kept it in. So kudos, Nintendo.
I at first I was thinking like, how the fuck on earth did they did they come to that conclusion and go, yeah, we're gonna put this through every single filter, and we're still just gonna put that in the final game. But then I remember that like when I was watching Nick sitcoms as a kid, and like a foot showed up every third episode as like the focus of a scene, I like didn't think anything of it and thought it was just a funny little gag. And so it's not as creepy, not nowhere near, but it's probably along the same lines. I think that's actually the intent for it in there, and then
I
it's like
think it
just a
is
funny, dirty thing
mainly
for
to be
adults.
funny, of just like, oh,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
is this huge dragon gonna lure you in for a cheap shot when all they have is a big foot? So it's like they only
They
had so
keep
much
playing
to work
footsie
with.
with you.
But yeah, fucking amazing game. It looks amazing. The only thing that I don't necessarily like about it is that it only runs at 30 FPS instead of 60, which is like, okay, it's running on a
That's
Switch,
weird.
whatever. It's not really that big of a deal. I just wish it ran at 60.
I
But
from
yeah,
Yeah, like part of what's so gratifying to me about this is it okay, I forget, is it a re-release or remaster? Or sorry,
it's a
remake.
remake.
Remake, right. Um part of what's so gratifying to me about this one is that back in the day, so I've had maybe two or three, no, three Mario games over the course of my life, and the one that I was like most excited about when it came, but got to play the least of, was Super Mario: The Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. My apologies.
Yeah,
We're
get
doing
it
this
right.
episode a lot. We're doing this episode a lot earlier than usual. Um, and oh yeah, by the way, we're probably switching to this schedule long term, if I had to say.
Yeah, say it
Yeah,
to all
just
the people that are here.
it works, but yeah, exactly. Everybody, it works better for the both of us. Hopefully you could fit it in with your schedule. There is a YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, but but um yeah, when we had a copy of the GameCube version of Thousand Year Door, and we like put it into the Wii. When I was a kid, it turned out that the GameCube controller we had would only push Mario to the left, not even stand still. All he could do was walk to the left. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then we just never got another controller for it. And so I would love to watch someone who's actually half
That is
decent at it
such a
play this
fucking
game.
your family move to do. Buy a whole console. Controller don't work. Guess it's fuck this.
Well, it's not. It wasn't a thing. If it was a thing about the whole console doesn't work now, then I do think we would have gone out. But this it was like, oh, this is one of maybe two things that that we were gonna access at the time that like would use that controller. Everything else is just like we already have one or two Wii remotes. Just switch to another game, and we'll figure it out in a bit. But yeah, no, it's like because it was only going to be Paper Mario, and the other one I think was, by the time we got it worked out, I forgot we had Paper Mario,
Lewis
and I was
Cyrus
playing
has
Sonic
joined the
Spinball. That was the
space.
other one that would have used it. So yeah, it was just like, but at the time it was one thing, and they're like, and like, we can shelve this. By the way, good to see you, Cyrus. We're talking about Paper Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
So
what a grand fucking game.
how like was it like a bash your teeth in hard kind of game when you were a kid?
No, I beat that
Hmm.
game fairly easily. It's not. It's made for babies. I mean, it's not necessarily made for babies, but it's not a
How
difficult
dare
game.
you?
It's a baby's first RPG for sure.
Oh wait, RPG. So is it one of those where because most of the RPGs that I think of when I think of an RPG, they have like all the slots and you manage perks and all of that. Is that something that you manage in Paper Mario?
Yeah, you have badges, which
Mario
can
RPG.
do a multiple of them. Mario RPG is much more of a traditional RPG in that sense.
Yeah.
Which they
Paper
also
Mario, the
remade,
main
yeah.
thing you manage in that is your badges, which can do anything from give you a new kind of attack that's like, oh, it does more damage or whatever, all the way to like, oh, if you're low on health, then you do like 5 times the damage if you have certain perks enabled or not. But you have to be at like 1 health, so anything will kill you if you're not playing properly. It's an incredibly complex game if you want it to be. If you don't want it to be, super fucking simple game.
Sorry, you mean for Paper Mario and not Super Mario RPG, right?
Yeah, Paper Mario. A Mario RPG is a little more complicated. I would still say it's pretty baby's first RPG, just not quite as much as Paper Mario is.
Yeah, because I'd love to check out Paper Mario. I mean, fuck it. I could, at this point, I could just slot it into Dolphin if I really want to. But I mean, sorry, don't do that. Well, because it's not
Don't
sold
speak
anymore.
its
What's the law
name.
around that?
Nintendo will kill it.
Oh, that's right.
Don't speak
Wait,
its name.
Lunar, in
I
all
didn't mean
genuine.
dolphin, I meant porpoise.
Wait, Dolphin. Oh, Dolphin. Lunar, in all genuine seriousness, can you go
Gemchick
back
has
and bleep
joined the
that out at any
space.
point? Like, I wonder if that's a thing you can do.
Nintendo
I don't
knows
know.
about dolphin.
I don't know
I
how
know.
YouTube works.
There's no way.
I'm no, like I.
Also, if
Billy
Nintendo
Bob
found
has
out about
joined the
dolphin from
space.
this shit, are you kidding
Well,
me?
it's less that I think that we're in active danger to Dolphin, which no, we aren't. It's less that I think that, and more. Oh yeah, for the future, I'd like if I could know whether that's something that we can do in case we had to, and so
No,
that
we would
this
just
just
have
made
to
that
delete
relevant
the
to me.
VOD.
Yeah, yeah. Also, good to see a gem chick and oh
Hello.
god, the cursor in banter and dilemma. Yeah,
Deal down.
yeah. We're talking about
Yeah,
Paper
Paper Mario
Mario.
Thousand Year Door. I got my copy a day early, so I've been playing it. I've said
Mhm.
that earlier, but now people are coming in. Um, and it's fucking
I had to tear
amazing.
Ashley away
It's
from that in order to record this. Just
literally
to be
it's not
clear.
even like it is still up like on next to me.
God,
But
I
ready
yeah.
at the moment this show ends, I'm playing Paper Mario.
Yeah, okay. One thing that I've gotten into the practice of, especially because like I usually need a
Ghostbroid
stim
has
when I'm
joined the
watching people like
space.
play games. I like hanging out with people and like half watching them play and half doing something else. And God, I love drawing while doing that, especially with like do you want to say anything more about Paper Mario? Because I have another thing that's like kind of
Go
weird and
for it.
mundane but important to me. Okay. So there was something that I realized about my art software, and about a lot of art software that I did not think I would like in the same way that I do. And this I utilized while you were playing that. Um, I kept seeing footage of people using Procreate on their iPad, and I'm like, that looks like an incredible experience just on a different thing. But there's something there that it seems like I don't quite have with mine. That's like aside from the
Ooh,
portability and shit that
I
I
have an
want to see.
idea for you.
Oh, well, okay,
I
I
have
did
one
find something, but if
too.
you have a recommendation, yeah, yeah,
I do. Actually,
show off,
I bought an
Jim Chick.
iPad, so I use Procreate. And if you go on to YouTube, there's a person on there. I actually just started drawing, and her name is Art with Flow. And she does from beginners and everything. And if you look in event snaps, I actually done a couple of pictures with her, and I'm even shocked that I can draw. Like, I've never drawn in my
Wonderful.
life. So try that because you would love your iPad if you do Procreate. It really.
Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna check out her channel. I will say I don't have an iPad, nor do I have Procreate to use it on. But I like what I was
Lame.
getting at. No, what I was getting at is that like I have my art software on my computer and I have my drawing equipment. But I'm like, there's something there that's like immediately noticeable that is different in like a good way that I can't figure it out. And I realized that it was that Procreate, at least in the instances I've seen, there might be a potential there might be a setting where you can enable one if you want, because some people prefer it, is having the cursor there. Because from back when I used a drawing tablet instead of display, which if you don't know the difference, drawing tablet is where you have like a black piece of plastic in front of you, and whatever your little stylus is doing down here translates to the screen. Drawing display is what you think of with like, digital artists with like the monitor, and like you're putting your stylus right there on what you're looking at. And the cursor is obviously incredibly necessary if it's the first of those two options, but on the second one, I realized it actually gets in the way visually, at least for my taste, and it's like, and even overstimulating at times because I have to focus really hard, and this thing keeps like, disrupting the relationship between what I'm drawing and what's coming out of it. And so I'm like, oh, I tried disabling the cursor on everything that was putting a cursor in it. And yeah, I'm like, "Oh, this is exactly what I'd hope for from Procreate experience." And I was trying to, so with both Krita and Clip Studio Paint, you can do that pretty easily. You can disable the cursor, and oh my God, I started loving it, and I became way more efficient with the art that I do. And just felt more in tune with it. The thing that I'm frustrated by, but I'm sure there's got to be a solution somewhere for it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna like throw in some feedback for it. But OpenTunes does not let you disable the cursor. You can make it a very small cursor or a very discrete cursor, but you'll still see it. The one that I'm probably landing on is like the arrow that would be most hidden by the stylus. But yeah, at the end of the day, you still gotta use a cursor in there. But yeah, I just, for any digital artist out there, if you're like, there's something not right about this, but it's right on my iPad. It might be the cursor, and that was just something that fascinated me about yeah, about my art software. I I don't know if you would have much to say about that. I do have another topic.
No, I don't have too much. I have still barely touched Procreate on my iPad.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I if I'm not mistaken, I think that the Apple Pencil Pro that was just released, or is going to be released in a second, either one.
it's been
I think that
released.
Oh, okay. I think that might be the first one that actually has the hover like the compatibility with the cursor, if you even want it. And then I realized I kind of don't. But yeah.
Julia
Um,
has joined the space.
oh yeah, for my second topic related to games, obviously, so I've talked about on here before how how I've loved the Lego game franchise since I was a kid, all the different IP that they use, and like the mechanics of it. It's been like the most complicated and like rich story game that I actually feel like I know my way around with it. It's built for kids, but it's such a rich experience. And um and it feels similar to any time I've played a Mario game. But there's one that's coming out that's similar to Lego, and it's not Lego. I wonder if you've heard of what I'm about to talk about. If you have an
Is it
inkling,
Funko?
it's Funko Fusion. Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
basically the spiritual successor to Lego Dimensions, and and I okay, at first I was just like, "Oh, great. Another toy company is doing the same concept as this beloved idea from Lego." That unfortunately didn't do very well. Apparently, it didn't sell a whole lot. I think it's kind of because it was at the tail end of the
Mohan has
toys to
joined the
life
space.
concept. But um I at first I thought it was just the same take, but then I realized I think it's actually more catered to adults of Funko Fusion, because first of all, the IP that they're showcasing in it, He-Man, fine, you could bring your kids into that. And like Back to the Future, but there's like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Alien, you could dilute if you wanted to, but they also have the Thing in there. There is like blood and death in this game, at least in the promotional material. It's still like very cartoony. This is like stuff you would expect to find in like one of those Funko dioramas. But it's it's like, oh, this is a different kind of this is actually catered to like the people who were older than the target audience they initially had. Adults that looked back and still played it, and it's like, oh, now this is a game more for you. They're probably not gonna say fuck in it, but but it leans a little more in that direction because you're not gonna see blood in a Lego game. And if it is, it's gonna be like bright green alien blood or something. And then I found out that Lego is releasing a PlayStation exclusive game, I think surrounding
Ghost
Horizon
Droid
Zero
has
Dawn,
joined the
something like that.
space.
I'm not overly familiar with that franchise. But yeah, I want to know if you have any
MRJ has
thoughts on
joined the
that.
space.
Um, I don't really care about Funko Pops. I think they
Mhm.
look like shit, so I'm not very interested in the game. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I've looked it up, and apparently it's coming out in September.
Mhm.
So cool. What does it have a rating yet? Who is the developers only made this game? Um,
I think it's a bunch of
online
developers
co-op. Okay.
from former Lego games. Yeah.
I mean, I would like it a lot more if it wasn't Funko. Because it looks interesting, but then every character's like, if I don't already very well know who this character is, I'm never going to be able to guess it, which I don't like. That's what I don't like about Funko a lot of the time. It's just like, if it's a character who's played by Chris Pratt, fuck if I'll know which one it is.
Well, sorry. In the immortal words of Ashley Abstract, say it with me, everyone. He's just a white guy. But
That is
but
also true.
I have heard like I think I've maybe ever shown you one white dude who you didn't say that about. And so I yeah, but I what's weird to me about Funko Pops is until I turned maybe 21, 22, everybody that I knew at least passively enjoyed Funkos, if not loved them. And then once that mark kind of hit, once we came into, I guess more or less, I don't know if this is a coincidence, but more or less the pandemic era. Uh, I now can't find a single person that I know who isn't just like, yeah, Funko Pops kind of suck. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I still like them. Yeah,
The only Funko I've ever bought was K9 from Doctor Who, and it's because he didn't look like a Funko Pop.
right.
He actually just looked like K9.
Yeah, I do like the art
I
style of
also have
Funko
no
Pops.
idea where it is anymore. I fucking lost it in the move, and that's really upsetting.
The one thing though the one thing I don't like about Funko as much though is with Lego, it's like, oh, you're not just building the characters in a certain style. The intention is that a whole world is built in the blocky style. And so obviously you have like we all know Lego sets, buildings and ships and all that. But with Funko, it's just like, oh, the general art style of what you would assume this little poppy figure is gonna fit into, which is just kind of basic cartoon anyway. And so that also makes me worried about Funko Fusion, where it's like it doesn't necessarily feel like it's gonna have a style beyond like if you simplify the design of something for like a Fortnite kind of game or whatever. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world for it. But yeah, I like Funkos. The only like legitimate gripe that I have with them is they don't have much use before their shelf, for the shelf fodder, and then eventually landfill food. Whereas like an action figure, for instance, a legitimate action figure, you could do a whole bunch of shit with. All too many people just like pose them and put them on a shelf and then never touch them again. But it's but you could do something with those.
But at least like
Yeah.
an action figure like also looks like the character. It's not just like a mold that they put hair on.
It's stylized.
I think Funko is too stylized. They all look the fuck insane.
I I d- I
Like
I
I said,
think
unless I like very know the character, it's very hard for me to tell who it is.
the only thing about Funko that always looks the same is the head shape and the eyes and kind of nose, but you hardly notice the nose. But other than those two features, other than those two general features, like they paint the
Other than the
faces a
part
different
of the
way.
human body that is the most unique between people, the face,
Ashley,
they
if
are
you
nothing alike.
Ashley, if you showed me just the head of a human being and the eyes, and you took off their hair and their mouth and their nose, and I didn't see the rest of their body, yeah, I'm not recognizing the which
Tell
one
me
that
what
is.
part of a Funko Pop's face, other than if they have facial hair, is different between every Funko Pop.
I'm saying their hair is different. Maybe they have a helmet. Their clothing is different. Oftentimes, if
How
they're
many
old, they have.
of the Funko Pop's hairs is just long brown hair?
Well, I don't know how many, but like I
Like a
also
ridiculous amount of them.
also the face is usually painted a little differently. If it's an old person, they got wrinkles. If they need freckles, they got them. If they need lipstick, they got them. A beard,
Lipstick, such a defining fucking thing. Like, the faces could do a lot more than they do.
they could, but then it wouldn't be to the style of Funko.
Yeah, and I think the style of Funko shit. That's my
Yeah,
point.
and you can think that. I just I
I
just
can
think that
know
you're
it.
wrong about how I just think that you're wrong about how they don't look different from each other like discernibly at all. Like if you lined up a row of Funkos, I can tell without looking for very long if I already know the franchise, which by the way, fully detailed action figure, if I'm looking at it on a shelf, I can if I don't already know the character, maybe I could guess franchise. That's about it. Like if you show me a
I,
Firefly
I wish
action
you weren't
figure,
in VR right now because I want to send you a picture of a Funko from something I know you've seen, and there's no way it just looks like a fucking dude. Just like a random fucking dude.
I will say one thing to your point is that I do think they should do less of people that are just people. I think they've prioritized too much of that. I don't think that that means the style sucks. I just think they've targeted it wrong. Like I think having hot
Well,
take
no, their
for
brand
anybody.
is to have almost every conceivable character that they can have be a Funko, but they're not discernibly different half the time.
Yeah, and I think having every character as a Funko, I think that's the wrong direction. I don't think the style sucks. I think its application could use some work. Because like for instance, like if you're a Funko fan, this might be a hot take. I don't think Sam and Dean from
Rexer_GX has
Supernatural
joined the
need to both
space.
be Funkos, because though that's a very much just a dude sort of situation where like let's say if you put Sam and Dean next to let me think. Next to like Castle from Castle. They probably have one of those. Like or next to Constant. Oh, if you put Sam and Dean next to Constantine, that'd be very hard to tell the difference. And so like they should do a lot less just people. Unless there's something really flashy that they wear. Like you could argue, I think something like who's a like the 12th Doctor looks great in non-Funko form. I think he'd look way too basic in Funko form, but like the sixth Doctor or the 10th Doctor, that's like you can tell there's more to it. Though I will say neither of those people have very much defined facial features, but they do make it worth. They would make it worth it with like they probably do. I just haven't directly seen it. The curly hair of the sixth, and the long coat of the 10th, and like the pointiness. Yeah, it's just the wrong application.
But that was the underlying thing of Funkos was to do that. Like that is their mission statement.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing they could use them. I think they could use the art style, just use it differently. I know that's their mission statement, but I'm like, in a perfect world that still contains Funkos, the mission statement is inherently
First
different.
of
That's what
all,
I'm
if
thinking.
there's a perfect world that still contains Funkos, we haven't found the perfect world. I'm just saying.
We need to look again, folks, for Ashley's perfect world. Find another portal. We got to
It's
start
not
from
just
ground
mine;
one.
it's the perfect world. Let's get it right.
I forgot how objective you are, Ashley. I'm so sorry. I should have
Yeah,
bribed you like a judge.
I've never made a subjective viewpoint in my life.
But yeah, I Wait, I hold on. I might Google this, but I don't want to like shut up for as long as it takes to Google this. I want to know if there's multiple Funko Pop Marios for the different Marios there have been, like in terms of styles. Because I know, like, you could probably think of, even if you're not a Mario fan, at least 2 or 3 different styles you've ever seen Mario in across the time of Nintendo. But I want to know if they've actually fucking tried to make them look different, and if you could put all the Marios on a fucking shelf and tell me which one's which. If even you could tell me which one's which. Yeah, hold on.
The only
Mario
pictures I'm
Funko
finding of a
Pops.
Mario Funko Pop do not look official.
Did
These
they
do
just
not
not
look
have
like
that license? Wait, well, I
they
see one
don't
that
even look like Funkos. Like they look like Funkos, but they don't look like Funkos.
I see at least one that looks like it could be real. It doesn't have any jarring like, oh yeah, this was made by a fan or something landmarks. I'm gonna post as many of these pictures well, a few of these pictures in the abstraction server. But yeah, and it like looks similar to another one I see in the swipe as wait, no, it's got a different jawline. No, these are probably fan made, but very good fan made versions. I guess they just don't have that IP. Who has that IP? That like I or do they just not give a shit? Because obviously Nintendo is not the company that's clamoring for another
I don't
like
think
a
they need Funko.
they do not need Funko. Amiibos are those still a thing that's happening a lot?
Not really a lot. They kind of had their phase. But
I
God,
think that every
like I've looked up Funko Pop Mario and went to Google Images, and everything that's popping up that isn't a Funko and is just a regular action figure is like, damn, that actually looks good. I'd actually want to purchase that. And that looks like the character that I want. Why do I want a stupid head version of Mario with dead soulless eyes?
I feel like you could make that argument about a lot of things. Well, like
I make that
like cuz
argument about every single Funko. Why would I want a version of this character with dead soulless eyes with a stupid fucking head?
I'm thinking like fuck.
At least when
Oh, I had
Lego
an
adapts
example.
a character, it actually like it looks like something other than just oh yeah, that's just the regular Lego person, but with a different hair.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna agree on this.
I think
I
Lego is
think
at least more charming of a design than Funko. Funko, I don't get the design in general. It does not look that good.
I like the eyes. The place where I could bend is I would like them to have more head shapes, but I feel like it wouldn't look right with the proportions. I feel like their proportions are built for a TV head like they have.
How much does a Funko go for right
Oh, too
now?
much. I don't recommend buying one. I just like the style. Yeah. I Are
$35?
you fucking kidding me? That's more expensive than I last checked.
Okay, some of them are
I
just 15 and 12, which is
okay.
still too much.
Because like 15 is what I'm used to seeing, 15 to 20.
There are
I
some
well
of
that
these. There's a Full Metal Alchemist one for $35, but it comes with a throne, so I guess.
do not ever pay more than like max ceiling. Don't ever pay 20 more than $20 for a Funko, and that even that's too much. Even if you wait, who? Okay, actually, no, we haven't asked. I'm genuinely curious. How many of you guys enjoy Funko Pops? Like, okay, so was that not a yes, or was that just you looking around?
I have no idea
Um,
what a Funko Pop is.
oh wow, that's
Well, shit.
You,
interesting.
There are some.
you live in a world I envy.
I'm interested,
But
but
yeah,
I have no idea.
They are how do I best explain it? It's like do you know the concept of like chibi? Like a chibi version of something, a little squished
Mm,
down caricature version of something else, trying to be cute usually. I do not think Funko Pops are very cute. Very clearly.
you are really digging
Um
into their fucking grave right
it's
now.
they're like bobbleheads, but they don't bobble, and the heads are
Many
all
of
the
them do.
same.
Okay.
Well,
So
the
I'm
regular
getting the idea.
Funko Pop Bobble is a different line,
oh, I
but
didn't know
some
that.
of them do. Most of them don't.
So if
Cool.
you take if you take the character that you love and you make like a simplified cartoony version of it, and then like the head shape is like well, it's like one of those
It's
like
a
classic
square.
CRT. It's like one of those classic CRT TV kind of proportions because it's not like a square. It's a specific kind of rectangle. And then the two eyes are like big black dots, like on those ice cream pops from like an ice cream truck. And um and then like they paint the facial features on the front, and obviously the rest of it is just like the outfit of the character, maybe a little item that comes with them, maybe an environment, like a little diorama tiny thing depending on which one you get, which I still think those could use some work. But yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's essentially what pop vinyls are. And people tend to like have, if they're a fan, they tend to like have shelves that they line them up, and all the characters that they like as if they're standing together.
I see.
And yeah, Ashley's claiming that they all look the fucking same, and she's also wrong.
They don't all look the fucking same in so far as like their clothes and their hair is different. I think if you see a wall of them, your eyes will glaze over while
Yeah.
looking
You
at the
know,
wall.
Look and disgust.
Ashley, I agree. They should probably stop
Look and
selling
discord.
so
I
many
sent
of
you a
them
picture
without
of
their
it.
body and their hair or helmet. And I really think they should never sell them with as just the eyes and the head. That is completely true.
But if you go to a store and you see a whole fucking wall of them, it is hard to fucking focus. They're
If I
all
see a
so
whole wall
fucking similar.
if I see a
By
whole
the
wall
way,
of action figures, they blend together for me. Even if I love which action figures they are. Like unless I know a specific one that I want, they're all gonna kind of woomph over if there's a wall of them. Like if
by
I'm
the
I
way,
looking
mean,
at one that's like
clearly I'm talking to a fanatic and I'm not going to get anywhere with it, but you know.
I'm just saying, I think that I can see why you wouldn't like them. I just think that all of the points that you're using to dig into them could be said for a lot of other things that I don't know that you'd say the same
Did I
thing about.
deny that? Did I
I don't
deny
know.
that?
Well, I don't know. It seems like it would be an
I also
inconsistent thing,
don't
but I don't know.
collect action figures. Like,
That's
I think Funko Pops are the shittest of action figures. Do I think most action figures are good? Absolutely not.
well, I'm also not a Funko fanatic. I don't have a shelf full. I have like a few. I just like the art style. I think they're too expensive most of the time, and I think that, I mean, probably the game might be worth, depending on the price of the game, because I actually don't know. I actually don't know how much the price is set to be, or if they've even released that. But if it's like affordable, then I think that it'd be more worth it than getting an actual Funko. That's all I think about it.
I I'm a person who's like I'm looking through the Funko Pop website right now. A lot of these silhouettes are fucking the exact same silhouettes, and I think that's
you wanna
when I'm
see?
like scrolling through these pages, the ones that pop out to me are somehow the Pokemon ones because they all have a different fucking shape to the rest of them. These actually look good despite the dead eyes. I still don't like the eyes. But like there's a Chimchar one and there's a Cheshire Cat one which is very different stylistically than every other Funko Pop and it actually looks pretty good. But all of the other ones where the body is the exact fucking same shape is like, oh, okay, cool. It's a
You wanna
Funko
know
Pop, but this one
a
has a
Funko
goatee.
version worse than the regular Funko? You have to find the Funko Dorbs. DORBC. They are
Oh,
fucking ugly.
Dorbs.
Doors.
Yeah.
I'm looking now.
Is that the ones that look like a Russian nesting doll or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember in a, I think at some point like I won a little Dorbs thing, and it was of Peter Quill, Star Lord
Oh yeah.
from Guardians, and yeah, that one I know the
I mean,
entire
I
point
have
I've made.
the I have a followed one, but
You
I
have a
love it,
Fallout one?
but I know it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, it's like I know the point that
Why
I've
are they
made this.
$25?
The Dorbs are $25. I won mine. Oh my god, that thing doesn't deserve to be more than 10. Are you fucking serious?
Wait,
Not
how much is
5.
this Batman one? Okay, they're not even selling this Batman one anymore.
Like, because
Do they even
to
actually
be clear,
make Dorbs anymore categories? Let's see.
I don't
Yeah.
know the literal scale. I don't know the literal scale of these avatars and banter, but like Adorbs is about maybe a little. Oh,
10
actually, I don't know the
centimeters,
comparison.
like
Yeah, it's not that
like
big, and
2
it's
inches, 2
I
inches and a half.
remembered it as a knockoff of Funko. I did not remember it
Yeah.
as a branch off because like that is 90%. The only thing about that wasn't just painted onto a basic model was just that the hair had a bit of a different sculpt. Yeah, those suck. Yeah, that's like
God,
that's
why?
basically if you want to get like a scope as to like what Dorbs kind of feel and look like. It if any of you remember if any of you remember Windows Live Messenger, like the icon for that, those little like
Yeah, it
spear for the head and the
looks a lot.
shoulders thing. If you peeled all the paint off, if you washed it off, that is exactly what a Dorbs would look like if it doesn't have hair on it, and that's it.
See,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if these
And
were like
there's a lot
$3
of
or
them
$4, I would not
Yeah.
find them very offensive.
Sure.
But like most of these are
But-
going for like 10, 15, $20, which is ridiculous. Also, I can't find it on their and their main site, so maybe they're inflated because they actually don't make them anymore.
Yeah. They're like collector's items because they don't make them.
I do see bitty
$127.
pops, which are just really small Funko Pops. 3 of the I don't how small are these? They are not $5 a pop.
I mean, there's some
Okay,
cool
4 minions
Funkos.
for $15. But like they aren't even an inch tall.
I'm curious. So, assuming the price is good, would you feel better about like a Funko Pop that's attached to like a keychain rather than like it's a displayed shelf accessory?
I mean,
Hmm.
I still don't like the design language of Funko, so I still wouldn't be that into it. But like,
Sure.
if they let the bodies be a little different, sure. I mean, if they let the bodies be different, I would probably like Funko a lot more because that's the main thing I'm seeing while scrolling through their website is just like, oh, all of the ones that have a different body shape, fucking good.
Wait, so do you? I'm curious. So U2s, how do you feel about those? Because those actually
God, I've
have a
not
little
looked
bit
into
more
those.
variation.
U2s.
I don't know that much about them. I just remember every time I've seen them advertised, it's like, oh, it's like Funko Pops, but with like more detail, and it's like takes some
Oh yeah, these are just
takes
like
some
normal
adjusting.
collectibles.
Yeah.
They're good. I
Yeah.
say they're good. I've looked at them for 5 seconds, but from what I've seen, these are fine. Actually,
Yeah.
half of the shit I'm seeing is stuff that's not even made yet because I guess that's how their business model works. But
The one thing that I don't like about U2s, which is like the best problem a company can have, I think, is they don't sell U2s like permanently like Funko do, which I know it takes like a whole lot of warehouse space and everything and infrastructure in order to facilitate selling them year round. But like when U2s are every time I've heard of a U2s being sold, it's like, oh, when these are gone, they're gone and forever, until we make another design with them. And I'm like, that I understand it, but I've never been a fan of that system with any merchandise product.
see, these are also better because, like, oh, if you're gonna have a figure that is non-posable, have them be like in a pose already, where half of the Funko Pops are just kind of standing there.
Okay, that we can meet in the middle on. Yeah, I think it could use that.
Because like the ones that do have like maybe if all of the ones that are normal humans all have the same kind of body shape, is like, okay, that's whatever, that is how humans do. But like there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi one and he's like stanced up with his lightsaber, which is a bit more appealing than the one next to him of Anakin Skywalker just sitting there with his hands to the side.
Yeah, the one that I think that you would probably prefer is there was a Spider-Man one that released for one of the movies. That it was probably Far From Home, I want to say, where he was doing like the classic, hand and 2 feet perched on like the window of like the side of a skyscraper, and he had like the Spidey symbol, this symbol, the Spidey hand gesture sticking out as if he's like webbing at an enemy and he's looking out towards
Yeah,
them.
I
I think
I
you'd
do
like
see
that one.
another one of him like hanging upside down eating a hot dog, which is like that one looks
Yeah,
cool. And again,
yeah.
he is like that's just a normal dude proportion, so it's like the body's not that crazy. But like there's this Hello Kitty one where the body is a different shape and it's like, "Oh, that's really cute. I like that one."
Yeah, by the way, all of the Sanrio Funko Pops, I love them because my wife loves Sanrio and Kuromi and all of them, and I want to build a PC for her. And
I'm so sorry.
the
What is Sanrio?
Funkos, oh,
That's the
Sanrio, it's
company
like
that owns Hello
Hello Kitty
Kitty.
World. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If
They
you
have a lot
search
more than Hello
Sanrio
Kitty, but
Funkos, they have a lot of different styles for many of the characters.
yeah, every single Sanrio one I'm seeing right now is pretty good.
Also, the Dungeons and
They're also
Dragons,
kind of already Funko shaped, so
yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons gelatinous cube. It's also one of the Funkos that are pretty cool. I think
yeah.
the thing from Funkos is that if you have a specific character that you wanna use as decoration, like themed, I think they could be a great addition because they have a pretty minimalistic style. Like it won't it won't add a lot of visual noise to the place you're decoring with.
I want to say that like, you just made me think of, especially regarding earlier in the conversation, bringing up the Windows Live Messenger icons, especially because, and I know you've gotten tired of this, but I'm just going to briefly mention, especially because there was like a little resurgence the past couple years of like people getting nostalgic about like the Fruitiger Arrow style, which if you don't know, that's like a lot of digital software, sorry, a lot of digital tech stuff from 2005 to 2013-ish. Um, I would like to see those characters as pop vinyls, just like the most basic possible thing. But like you'd see them as like because okay, not as just the characters, but I would like to see maybe here is of the blue and the green ones. Let's say this is the blue one, and then the green one is slightly smaller and a little bit off the ground behind them, attached to them here, sort of like a Siamese twins thing. But that would kind of match the arrangement on it, and that would be different from a normal character model. Also, I want to say, and I feel I should have noted this earlier, I do like action figures better than pop vinyls. If I have just a blank check to fill a shelf with whatever nerdy shit that I want to just put on there, pose as I please, and use however I want, Funko Pops are not going to take up the majority of the room. They're going to be like occasionally in there. Like you'll see them in the middle of little vacant spots, but most of it's going to be taken up by other styles. It's just that it is a style that I particularly tend to enjoy, but also too fucking expensive for what they are. They are
Yeah,
they should be about maybe, I don't know, $5 to $8, like depending. Yeah. I could
yeah,
not
10
I
for the
can't
most cool ones, but paying
like
more than $10
yeah.
is amazingly like how? Why?
Yeah. For any pop vinyl I've ever seen, unless it's like got all these sorts of gizmos on it, like if unless it's like the Iron Man one where he's flying from the Age of Ultron collection back in the day, they'd probably still sell it. I don't know. But that one like had a whole bunch of extra stuff to it. So maybe that one, if they wanted to, could be a little higher. But unless a Funko Pop is like $10 or under, there is no way that I can like feel good in handing it to somebody and going, "Oh, you should probably buy this. I think you'd really like it." That's something where like I'd get it for them and not tell them how much it was. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, scrolling through, they're like the least
Iron Wolf
amount is
has joined the
$12.
space.
Most of them are 15. Some of them go up to 25.
yeah, that part is bullshit.
And 25 while also like not having much added on. Like there are some of these it's like okay, they have like a big display piece. So it's like okay, I get it. That one's that way because it has a lot more material put into it, but some
Yeah,
of these
also
are just no.
the Chester Cheetah from Cheetos. It's also a cool Funko one. It's glow in the dark, and that's something I would say like it's probably worth it, but not the real price that people are selling it because it's pretty limited amount of pieces that got made.
For a for the standard pop vinyl to be like, I don't know, $15, at bare minimum, all of them would need to be glow in the dark. I would need
Oh
to
wait,
be
yeah, but the Chester Cheetah one fucks though. Like this
No,
one's so
but
cool looking.
I don't
It's
I
really
don't
cool.
doubt that. I
It's
don't doubt
he
that.
has
I'm
fire
just
because
saying,
he's flaming
yeah.
hot. He's got fire below him, and he glows orange.
I think
That's
that is
fucking
dope as
awesome.
shit. But yeah, I think
Have you
they
seen
should probably
the
all
D
glow in
and
the
D
dark.
one? The gelatinous cube?
Oh, let me look
So
up
is this based on the
gelatinous.
It
movie or
has
just based
two
on the game?
versions on the game.
Okay.
It has two versions, the green and blue one. The blue one, it's
The blue
top
one has like an
tier.
arrow sticking out of it. I
Yeah,
love that.
there's a picture in which it's taken outside and the light it's hitting it just right.
Oh
It looks
yeah.
amazing. But yeah, it's
And
also the
it's
same
like
issue
again,
that
all of the non-standard Funkos are the best ones.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are the most novel of them. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
also
mean, I
the
just think
most
like
expensive.
when they don't have these stupid fucking nubbins, hands and feet, they
Yeah,
have
I
more
get it.
like
I get
character
it.
able to be given to them. And
Like
also like
also there was
the
one
Chester
of
Cheetah
the
one is posed in like a cool pose.
it's also one
Yeah.
of the D&D ones that it's like $100, but it's
What
like
like from the
huge.
company it's $100?
Yeah, but it's huge, so it's like the
How
size of
huge are we
three
talking?
three Funkos, four Funkos. It's the
It
timber shot also from D&D.
for it to be worth $100, it needs to be a little more than 3 to 4 Funkos tall. It needs to be. I thought when you said $100, this was going to be close to R2D2 height, like that, like that I can see a little bit.
Steve, will
But
you
no,
buy me the Funko Pop Scuba McNugget?
how
What?
much is it?
It's $15.
Do you want the?
It's a McNugget that has long blonde surfer hair and a scuba mask.
It looks like shit.
It does, and I want it.
You're like, if we're gonna go for a shit art style and merchandise, we're gonna go for the roof of shit.
Bring
Yeah.
together Ronald McDonald and friends with Pop Scuba McNugget, Target exclusive. Your ad icon collection isn't complete without the Scuba McNugget from McDonald Land. Get yours while supplies last. Vinyl figure is approximately 3.15 inches tall.
Who asked for a scuba McNugget? Is this one of those things where like I missed Skibidi Toilet, like just a little late to know what the fuck that is for like months?
I don't find a image of the size of the Funko I was talking about.
That thing better be no less than like 2 to 3 feet tall.
I mean, oh no, it's like less than a feet.
Yeah, no, I could not pay $100 for that. But yeah, I'm kind of out of topics at this point. So if you wanna, if you, unless you have anything else, if you wanna close the show,
I'm gonna play Paper Mario. Bye.
have a lovely time.
I'm gonna buy Scuba McNugget.
You just seem out of it.
I want Scuba McNugget.
You want Paper Mario is what you want.
I want Scuba McNugget and Paper Mario.
You want Scuba McNugget to play Paper Mario with you.
Yes.
You should do a
My
screen
best
share
friend,
so
Scuba McNugget.
we can see what. Do you know what I'm saying? It would be
That
really
would be
good
great. We don't have that set up
with-
here though.
No, is that not
Yeah.
possible here?
Oh, it is possible. It's just you have to set that up like beforehand. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I
see.
don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
to do it.
Cool.
Next time when I have Scuba McNugget, I'll put a live video feed in the corner. It's
Of
like a
you
cat
unboxing
cam, but
Scuba
Scuba McNugget.
That would be good. I'd like
What
that.
are you doing with Scuba McNugget, or is it just like a live
I let
stream?
Scuba McNugget do what they want.
I think you were gonna say I let it live in my house rent free.
I don't impose my will upon Scuba McNugget like a freak.
Well, why are you pointing a camera at it then? If it's not doing anything.
For stream. You know? People want to see it.
People want to do you guys want to see Scuba McNugget? Hey,
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
it'll be.
this is our brand now.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Scuba McNugget. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
Anyway, I'm gonna hop out and recharge. But hope you have a lovely time, folks. And thanks, Lunar, for streaming.
Why are my hands so
Bye.
fucked up? Do you see this?